Dead Draw Gaming. Like no one ever was.
With round 7 of the 2018 Madison Regional Championship. I'm here with Mr. Jeffrey Saran. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. The inevitable round 6, when you're at that point where, round 7 to where you're 6-0, the big winning and guarantee that day 2 spot.
Locking that up now, not only is it important because you don't want to worry about that for the last 2 rounds, but once you hit that 7th spot, you can start thinking, hey, I'm already in day 2. How many points can I get for day 2? You go for that 8-0, that 9-0, UID to just get 2 more. That's when the big decisions really start to play out.
All right, yeah, and one of the biggest things with that too is going to your point is determining. You might as well go for it at this point. Tournaments are so big now, and it's so tough to get into that top 8. You need so many points that you got to go for it.
And I think that's the kind of thing I really like to see. These players getting up here. You'll see people playing it safe. They're like, I just want to get day 2. I'm fine with top 32. I'm fine with top 16. But me, I like to see the players go big. They came here to win. I don't think most me at least. I'm a very competitive person. I don't show up to get second.
Yep.
I don't show up to get top 16.
Yep.
I show up to win the event, and that's the kind of attitudes I like to see from the competitors as well.
You have nothing to lose at that point. Then once you get to those 7 wins, might as well go for the goal here.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about the matchup we're going to see here between 2 very well-known players in Jimmy Pendarvis and Kid Starck. What decks are we going to be featuring today?
So it looks like Jimmy here is playing Buzzwole Lycanroc. We've seen that deck, a lot of hype. You got the new Diancie Prism Star. It's kind of been, the most hyped deck coming out of the new Forbidden Light set. It seems to be a very little Buzzwole focused list. The Forbidden Light Buzzwole, the little guy, he's new. He's coming out. He's an Ultra Beast. And Jimmy seems to think, wow, this card's pretty good. Let's focus our fighting list on it now. What's Kid's deck looking like?
So Kid's End is a deck that I've been honestly working with a lot prior to my break, and it is Zord Garbodor, and it's very unique. It has a couple of those cute techs with Kartana GX and heavy Psychic focus, between the Garbodor with the Trash Lens focus, and also 2 Mewtwo from the Evolution set. 2
of them. Whoa.
So it's really wanting to counter that fighting weakness that it has with Zord GX with the Psychic attackers.
Yep. And Psychic attackers have been kind of the name of the game all day. Last round we had Adler Pierce playing a Zoroark deck, and he actually had 3 Psychic attackers in his deck. He had the Mew, he had the Mewtwo, and he had a Latios.
I don't think anyone wants to take a loss to Buzzwole at this point. It's been kind of the dominant deck the past couple regionals across both formats, and you got to have the counters to it.
You really do. I mean, you look at some of these Buzzwole games, and you can see why. You've got this B-String card. It's got the little Buzzwole. Lycanroc's one of the best GXs in the game right now. It just, it really seems like it's got everything a deck could ever want.
Yeah, it's so versatile, and it has, all different types of phases for the game. Short game, can hit in the long run, can attack aggressively. It's just so versatile, the Buzzwole deck.
All right, so here we are. We got him setting up. I did not see who's going first. I did see Jimmy's hand, though. He's starting with, I believe it was a Buzzwole GX, but I know that like 5 of the other cards in his hand were Fighting Energy, a B-String, and luckily an N.
So this is one of those weird matchups where this Zord deck doesn't fall into that trifecta that we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
But it does kind of give it a pretty strong chance to go against these Buzzwole matchups. So I'm curious how this is going to actually play out.
Completely agreed. It is a Zoroark deck in that, oh man, it's weak to fighting, but most of its attacker, the Trash Lance Garbodor is very good against against them. 120 is an awkward number for them to hit. It can kind of do a lot of damage. I mean, it adds up quickly. So.
Yeah, really interesting start on both sides here. Kid had a trouble start and was able to get 2 Zoroarks out, but no energy.
He didn't play a supporter. He just passed. I mean, I saw 1 Zoroark in his hand, so maybe he had 2, and he's just like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't need to do anything else. But Jimmy, we saw that flood of energy.
Fighting energy.
Just ditched it. But he's got this beast energy. That's pretty good. An extra 30 is always appreciated. If he gets his Diancie out, just Trubbish.
Trubbish, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure there it is. That 6th card off the end. The baby Buzzwole too. He's coming out of the gates.
And this is the version that we saw earlier with Xander, where it's heavy baby Buzzwole, and sure enough, Diancie right there on cue for him.
There it is. It's
Didn't need a Brooklyn Hill, no virtue, anything, just set up. Kind of hard to see what Kid has his hand currently, so.
He's got a choice. You gotta
promote the damage
you do. You can't leave that on the bench. It's got to be the one you want to evolve. We see him top deck 1 of his 2 Mewtwo's from Evolutions. pretty good card. That Enhanced Tamer makes me think, he's probably not going in with the Mewtwo. Maybe his hand's not great. Maybe he just doesn't think he wants to use it, something like that.
This is a very frustrating spot here because, I mean, a Guzma can actually just... Guzma Floatstone can just win the game right now. So you almost want to bench the Mewtwo for, like, security purposes.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's to just not lose the game, but he's really, really in a tough spot. So he looks like he's going to bench the Mewtwo. It looks like he's got is that a Zoroark in his hand?
So curious, how come he didn't evolve it there? Do you think what's the thought process there?
Let's see. I mean, does he? It's only 3-0. He's got 2 Zoroark GX. He's got 3 Zoroarks.
Yeah. Different arts. That's why it looks weird. So it's 4-3 line.
Got it. So he has a BKT. Maybe that's what he's going for. Is the BKT Zoroark? Maybe he really wants to pull that non-EX option out of here to kind of smack it for 100.
It'll soften up a little bit, letting it allow for a Mewtwo to come in later to sweep it off the board.
Only giving up 1 prize at the same time, But it looks like he did not draw the hand to support that line of play, which is unfortunate. Not the kind of thing you want to see.
Well, luckily enough, he did hit the E-Hammer, taking off that Beast Energy off the board. So hopefully that slows him down. Jimmy just enough for Kid to
a little bit,
reestablish his board.
So it looks like Kid is still gonna go for this the Breakpoint Zoroark here. He did draw the double colorless energy. I did not see that in his hand. He got it.
So
all right.
One thing I want to note that on this list compared to, I guess, maybe the original idea from Zoroark Garbodor, where it focused on the bursting balloon effect, which the trick there was evolve to the Breakpoint Garbodor, activate Garbotoxin with the bursting balloon, leaving your opponent abilityless, and then next turn the burst balloon falls off and you get your abilities there. This list, however, just focuses on Float Stones and Choice Bands as his route for ability lock. So with that in mind, he's just committing to it once it's established.
That makes sense. He's really like thinking, Bursting Balloon is a good card, but it's a lot of space. Replacing that Bursting Balloon every single turn can be a little bit difficult. And I'm sure that there are certain matchups. Let's use Tapu Bulu for example, where that one turn, if you don't get that tool back on it, that might lose you the game. So
100%.
He's really looking for the consistent lock, and sometimes that's just all you need. So Jimmy, we saw him just attach an energy and go for a knockout.
I wonder if that die there, the 4, is an indicator for items in Jimmy's discard pile, or that just happens to be laying there?
I think that was the initial roll, because actually the only thing in his discard is that N he played on turn 1. All he did was attach a fighting and attack. That's it. But Kid,
that's be something we want to keep in mind here going forward with the game with that troubleshoot on the bench.
Exactly. So we saw Kid promote the Mewtwo. He's down a DC. He's down a Choice Band. But if he gets 1 more of each, he's knocking out this Buzzwole.
And there's really no chance of retaliation on Jimmy's end with what he has on the board.
He has the baby Buzzwole, so Kid would go to 4.
So he could have hit the Beast Ring, correct?
Correct, yeah. So
holy energy.
Did he...
That hand is flooded with fighting power.
Yes, it is. Oh, he got the double puzzle. We were like, man, he needs these 2 cards he just lost, or he just needs the puzzles. And
he got an Evo Soda to maybe either bring in the Garbotoxin or Trash Lance. There's a couple options here.
I think that there's a Zoroark in his hand, so he's gonna be able to get that trade online now. He starts drawing some more cards, like we know he needs.
So here's a curious thing of order operation here, right? So would you play the puzzles first and then Zoroark GX, or trade first, maybe you draw into what you could puzzle for?
The 6 cards I saw in his hand: Evo Soda, Trubbish, a Zoroark.
And is that a Zorua?
Is that a Zorua?
That's 2 Zoroarks.
Oh, it's 2 Zoroarks. Then if it's 2 Zoroarks, yes, I would have just traded one of the Zoroarks.
Okay.
If it's not, and he's just going to play himself down to a 0-card hand, then maybe all these cards are good, I'm just going to use all of them. But as a general rule, if you can trade before you puzzle or before you mallow or something.
And sometimes it's there's got to be a reason for it sometimes where there's the cards in your hand are so useful that you just can't,
you can't
sacrifice a trade on them.
Exactly, yeah. So let's see what he's thinking. Maybe Kid's thinking, I don't want to evolve this. I don't want to give him an EX to kill with that baby Buzzwole. I don't want to give him a way to take 2 prizes. 2, if he comes up to snipe me, sure.
I think he's realizing that this version is the heavy baby focus version.
Yeah.
So to counteract non-EX attackers, you bring some in of your own.
Yep. And that makes a lot of sense. He's like, if I put all these orcs in play, they're not going to trade very well with that thing. So maybe I just don't put them down.
So there's the 3rd baby coming down.
Third baby Buzzwole.
Showing strong what his deck is all about, and And there's the Beast Ring right on cue we were talking about earlier that
yeah.
if Mewtwo took the knockout, it was inevitable.
So these two are probably going to go on a benched one, you think, right? Like,
I think so, because you are going to be able to take the effect of the initial attack for the 120.
You're
plus
doing the
Diancie takes you gives you a little boost to knock out this Mewtwo. So right
Yeah.
now it's kind of just a trade war with just attacking.
Something interesting I noticed with the Baby Buzzwole and the Mewtwo interaction, they still need 3 fighting on that for Mewtwo to one-shot it. If you play Kukui, you could get him with 2, but
Yeah.
because you don't get the choice band anymore, it's the same
Yeah,
math.
that's true.
It's
That's
the same
very
math,
true. Yeah,
which
so
is,
it's almost like you wish that Mewtwo was a Mew.
yeah,
in a sense.
exactly. It's we wish you just need some better way to get a big attack in on it, and just it's very hard. It's 130 is an awkward number. He needs 4 items in there to one shot it with Trash Avalanche, whereas he would need 5 to one shot a GX. So it's not a huge difference.
So this could be a big turnaround here with the N in his hand. So I think we actually are going to see the Zord come down.
Correct. I think so as well.
And then end low, and from there just kind of hopefully bring this trash and just kind of sweep the rest of the board.
Yep. He definitely he's got to do something here to go from 4 to 3, because I don't think he can afford to let this Baby Buzzwole get another 120 off, especially not if it becomes a GX in the active.
So we see him eyeing the Kartana GX here to play down. What do you think is his thoughts here? Just a bench spot for Zoroark, or
maybe just trying to do more damage?
Or maybe do that single prize attack to keep up with the non-EX prize trade, the
Okay.
GX tag.
Oh, and you just take the prize. Maybe he just blades here, and that's how he puts him at 3, so he doesn't have to deal with the. That makes sense, and that's honestly probably his best option right now, because
And he's pretty stocky there. He won't get knocked out directly.
Yep.
Be able to get the use out of him and maybe set up something on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, unless Jimmy gets like a choice ban and flips some heads with the Buzzwole's second attack, then that Kartana's pretty safe.
I kind of like that he did not evolve the Zorua initially. He wants to see what he gets off his end. He's gonna get 4 cards to Jimmy's 3.
Yep.
So I guess the goal here is Floatstone unit energy.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens here. But I think there's a lot of options here. For
and another interesting thing about the Zoroark Garbodor deck is, it's been cutting its Zoroark line back a bit. They're not playing the full 4/4 anymore. They're in a 3/3. They're playing more supporters because they're like, we don't need Zoroark. It's just part of our deck. It's not what we rely on. It's not the main thing. It's just like, this is also something that we do. So
his hand looks like unit energy, parallel, and there's the DCE, and I couldn't see what the last card was. Maybe Acerola or Guzma?
It's Guzma. The moral of the story here is he didn't get the Floatstone, which is unfortunate to see. We're gonna have this Zorua just kind of hanging out in the active, but maybe if he evolved it to Zoroark and traded, he could have got the Floatstone, but maybe he wouldn't have, and then he's given up 2 prizes.
So let's backtrack here. How many items did Jimmy play so far? We know about the Beast Ring. Is that the only one?
He played a Sycamore the turn before.
So he could have dumped some there.
He could have dumped some there.
Because going back to your point, that Buzzwole has 1 energy on us, and Mewtwo's not really being effective right now.
It's doing 20-80, so it's 2-shotting. And as long as kid's still at 4 prizes, that Buzzwole is going to be taking 1-shots on those Mewtwo's. It's going to be a bad trade for him if he can't keep up. And Jimmy's doing a very good job of not putting any EXs in play.
Yeah, and that's the power of that build currently. It's just, I heard a lot of different feedback from podcasts and different people on the community, and a lot of them say that if you had a strong non-EX deck for this weekend, you can have a lot of success.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing here. They're kind of realizing like all these fighting Pokemon are so strong, and all this insane support came out from them. Let's just make the games last longer.
Yep.
Decks keep up by just trading with Buzzwole. Well, let's not let him do that anymore.
Yep.
So, clearly it's working out. He's starting off 6-0. It's great.
He's kind of in a scary spot now with that Rock Ref coming to play with a strong energy because you can't bench now. You can't really do the GX attack for Kartana because you bring him up and EX and get knocked out. So it's just a really scary spot to be in.
Jimmy's actually at 2 prizes already.
Yeah.
It's quick. It's the quickness of this deck. You're just like, something dies every time. You're like, oh, it's dead. Oh, something's dead. Oh, suddenly there are 2 prizes left. You're like, so fast, so much faster than you ever expected to be.
I like this play. He's trying to make his best situation. He is going to go for that.
There's the Blade.
The Blade GX, take the prize.
Boom. But
bringing up the Diancie active.
Bringing up the Diancie is fine. It's going to be a pain for Jimmy to move. Maybe he has to put a Floatstone in play. The kid can blow her and start going in with some Trash Avalanches or something similar like that. So
a lot of little things need to go in kid's favor here, but I don't think he's out of the water yet. I think there's still a couple things that can go his way.
Absolutely, yeah. He's not in a good spot, but
Yeah.
this is how the comeback happens.
Yep,
It
yep.
is what he's doing right now. So we see Jimmy Brooklet Hill taps it, gets the Remoraid out. You know, he thinks, all right, finally, ends are probably gonna start coming soon. So maybe I should think about getting Octillery on board in case one of these lands.
Yeah. Next turn, N would be crucial against it, especially if he doesn't get the Octillery out, because I mean the energy's on the bench. So if he doesn't hit a Flowstone here and it actually works Kid's favor, I think that's gonna be a big turning point.
Huge, absolutely. And you know, Kid's kind of realizing, you know, the reason he brings the Diancie up is like, I need to take this prize. I need some, you know, that turn of just like a debris to something didn't die. I can do something else. You know?
This is a huge Sycamore here. Do we see the Flowstone or any way to retreat that Diancie? Is it a 2 retreat cost or a 1 retreat cost?
It's a 2 retreat cost.
Heavy.
It is 2.
It's a heavy little
yeah,
rock.
I think that's very important on the card. Like, I think if the card had 1 retreat, it would just be like one of those things where it's like,
yeah, well,
every aspect of this card is busted.
Exactly.
Right? You know?
It's already strong enough, but we make it a little lightweight, then it's gonna take it over the top for sure.
Exactly. And you know, that's something that I kind of notice about cards. Like the longer they come out, the more like small nuances in them that make them like between like good and broken.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like that thing has plus 20. It's like, wow, that's so good. But to retreat in the decks it's going to be in is hard because they're not playing. It's on DC decks. It has 120 HP, which is very easy to hit for most decks.
Yeah.
It can be knocked out by a Zorak deck, for example. You know,
bounces out fairly fair enough.
Yeah, and you know, I enjoy seeing that kind of stuff with these cards. You know, play out how it should. You know, this is like it worked. You know, if that thing had 1 retreat, it would not have worked. But you know. So, Kid.
Right on cue, what you were saying.
Right
the end play to get him down low.
Yep.
I think Jimmy was just turned too too late with the Rimmer, I should say. But if there's a moment to happen, this is going to have to be it.
It absolutely is. So, my issue right now is that, you know, Kid doesn't really have anything in play that can do like a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's not really anything that can reach that 120 on the Diancie. Unless there are a lot of items in that discard.
Yeah.
Which I guess there aren't.
I would say after that Sycamore, there could be at least 5.
Yeah.
Especially him just doing an Ultra Ball now. So I would say that he's definitely within a one-shot range of Trashlands. But after that, it's just a strong hit from Buzzwole just to knock it out. So
exactly.
He already has 2 energies on him, a couple flips, and it's game over.
Yeah. He's, you know, if I were a Kid, seeing that Ultra Ball immediately would make me a little nervous. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you're sweating a bit. You know, you can see him kind of fidgeting his hands. Like he knows that losing is a possibility.
What outs are left for him after that point? I mean, the end play was kind of his security blanket to pull it back in, but the covers were taken off because of that Ultra Ball.
I mean, Jimmy does still have to draw a way to switch. You know, we're like, Ultra Ball, Octillery, game over. But +5 cards is huge, but that's all it is. It's +5.
It's still getting the beast rings.
There's the beast ring.
So he's probably not even minding his Diancie active, honestly, because he could just kind of set up the Buzzwole, get an energy on this other Buzzwole, just keep chilling on this rock rip. Like, I'm not going to evolve this till the time is right. Because right now, he's a Floatstone from away and a Floatstone and a Lycanroc GX from game, which right now,
he is a Lycanroc away
there's
from
Ultra
the
Ball.
game. There's an Ultra Ball, Lycanroc, knockout. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
All right, and just like that, Jimmy Pendarvis
Wow.
takes game 1 against Kid Starck. Man, that's the Buzzwole deck sometimes, you know? They just go out of the gate, knockout. Like,
it's insane how powerful that deck is. We see it quite numerous rounds right now. We've seen times where it bricked essentially, and we've seen times where it just goes off the rail and just shows the true power of the deck.
Absolutely. It's wild to see it go off, and you know, and it's always so wacky to see it in such drastically different ways, right? Like you see it pop off and it's like insane, but then another game they're just like, and like, you know, maybe open a little clunky and just, you know, they don't get that aggressive start that they like to capitalize on.
So I'm curious if you know, what if what's called kids kind of took their route of trying to get some Zorks out while he didn't have the Rock Riff out, just to kind of have that draw to get ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that's the right route to go to, but maybe that would have pulled him to slowly get to the point of getting back into the game.
Yep.
Because there's like a lot of turns where he ended himself to 4, but he didn't get anything useful there.
Yeah.
He was forced to play GX with Kartana.
And you know, I did notice that he's like, I'm keeping EXs off the board, I'm keeping them off, I can't trade. But you know, maybe there's a world where he just has to be like, I can't draw without them. You know, I can't see all these good cards. It's really hard for me to puzzle if I can't draw a bunch of cards. It's hard for me to.
Yeah. The good thing is, the baby Buzzwoles will only one shot unless it's A, you're at the 4 prizes.
Yep.
Or B, it has the 3 energies and you flip the heads, right?
Yep.
Or you don't have to flip the heads, you just need the choice band.
Yep.
With the 3 energy, you do have the retaliation of Mewtwo, fortunately.
Exactly.
So if you set it up right, you could be in a position to still hold your own.
Mm-hmm. And here we are, the 2 cards we've been talking about, the big boys of the matchup. Mewtwo versus Buzzwole. Kid going first again. All right, so he's got the second Mewtwo in his hand, actually, just throwing it down. He's like, I'm using these.
The purple boys are in. And you know that's like an instant indicator of your hand is not the hottest and you have to puzzle for the top deck.
He's got the parallel, I guess, but
oh man,
it's not great.
Rough.
What do you think? What do you think about not playing the parallel?
You don't get a quick setup the first turn, really. If you think about it, you probably get 2, maybe 3 Pokemon out because there's no bridge in these Buzzwole lists now. It is essentially Ultra Ball and Brookwood Hill.
Yep.
So with that, it's kind of hard to burst for the bench power. And like I said, there's Brookwood Hill. And he only plays 1 copy of Parallel City. So if you're going to play it, make it count.
Correct, yeah. I would agree with that, you know. It's the kind of thing where, like, maybe if he played 3 parallel, he drops it. And because you can kind of chain them back to back to back to make it annoying. But when you've only got the 1 and, you know, your opponent plays a bunch of stadiums and because they don't play Bridget, you know, these explosive turns, they're not really that big on trying to do it that quickly anyway. So I would definitely agree with that.
And then Jimmy going right away for the Rock Riff, knowing that Psychic Weakness is not something he wants to deal with.
Yep. And you know, he's like, Psychic Weakness, I'm not trying to deal with this. You know, Lycanroc Claw Slash, if he gets a strong, that's 130. That's,
it takes care of Mewtwo itself.
Yep. And this is something, I mean, you know, I wasn't commentating the Xander match, but we watched Ahmed on stream earlier playing a similar baby Buzzwole focused build, and you know, this is kind of what he did against all the, you know, I don't remember his opponent Jay Young, like turn 1 going first, bridges out his Mewtwo, puts the DC on it, puts a choice band. Ahmed did not attack with Buzzwole GX that entire game. Yeah, he's just like, oh, that's scary. I'm going to attack with my Lycanrocs and my baby Buzzwoles.
And that's the versatility he's fighting deck. I mean, some decks can even put the Zygarde EX and GX in there for the for a different weakness to go with. So it's just super flexible, and we see the true power of these fighting decks.
We really do. I mean, there's so many things they can do, and like, you know, most of their good attackers attack for 1 energy, 2 energies. So you know,
it's kind of cool like throughout the seasons because you kind of see like a type focus really dominating the season, like previous Dark, even with 3 Eviltal. And then we've seen lots of different variations. Go back to Next Destinies with Ray Eels or Dragon Assault, whatever it was, and it's just there's so many different.
Virizion Genesect,
Virizion Genesect,
good for a while.
That was the deck to play. So it was just constant. And now with this season, we do see fighting coming in strong.
It's exciting to see, you know, all of these different types get so much support and kind of their moment in the sun, right? It's like, this is the best type right now. Like, nothing else can beat it. Whoa, like it's cool to see, you know? And so Kid, fortunately enough, off of that puzzle, was able to rip a Lele. We kind of saw him pull the top of his deck directly to his bench. He knew it was coming. Floatstone, looks like he's just playing a Cynthia. You know,
So this, I think, is a good time to play the parallel. One gets rid of the Brooklyn after he plays it, so you wasted one of his cards. And if you get fortunate enough, he doesn't play another one. He's locked in with those, with essentially, you know, 2 cards that won't be touching him at all.
Exactly, and you know, like, in an ideal world, maybe Jimmy had like 2 more good Pokemon that he makes him discard. But here, Jimmy now just can't bench another Pokemon. You know, if he has a Buzzwole that he wants to Elixir to, for example, you know, maybe he can't bench it, or, you know, if Jimmy like Lycanrocs something up to knock it out and then Sycamores but then draws a bunch of Elixirs, there's nothing to put energy on there. You know, he can't put it on the Octillery, he can't put it on the Diancie, you know, none of those are that good here, so it can definitely put him in a really interesting spot if the Parallel City is able to stick around. So, Kid, he got 2 Trebushes out.
No energy again. Like, in my mind, well, no, especially with the 4th Pokemon out, like, it almost been kind of neat to just see an energy drive because you're not in any danger. But now with that 4th Pokemon, you really can't do that. But there's no energy in the Rock Rift too. So it's a lot of little small things you got to take into consideration here. But regardless, no energy.
No energy. And it's you want energy. It's great.
He plays 7, 4 double colors and 3 units. And that unit energy is actually really unique in this deck. The unit energy being Lightning, Psychic, or Mill at one time. So.
It's interesting to see, you know, the unit energies are so cool because, I mean, to me, when I see these, I imagine that, like, Pokemon made these cards in mind with, like, some very specific combinations like working together. And you see that like they put certain types on cards because they don't want certain other types to be able to interact with each other, and like it's cool to see them kind of pushing it in that aspect.
I'm waiting for the moment where someone comes up with a list for the water, fire, and grass unit energy.
Oh yeah,
just to find some versatility there.
Like that card hasn't found a niche yet, but I'm sure there's something
in the waters that's going to come out.
The newest unit is my favorite, but again, it's fairy, fighting, and dark, which are like the 3 best types.
Yes.
In the game. Gardevoir's kind of fallen off, but Gardevoir was like, the best deck at the beginning of the season, right? And like we were talking about earlier, Dark was good for so long with Evil Tall, and now Fighting is like the deck to beat. And those are 3 types that we've seen have insane success lately. So
I want to be one of those decks to where that new energy can find a home with Zork, Lycanroc. And if we can actually see Zork GX use GX attack, that could always be fun to see.
Yeah. I would always be hyped to see Trickster be used more often. And I mean, we're off topic a little bit right now, but that when Zork GX came out, I remember people talking like, "Oh, the card, trade's okay, right? It's being never kill anything. Trickster, that card, that's really good." Like people are like into Trickster.
Overlooking the trade effect that is going to honestly just change the way we build decks. Essentially,
it flipped both formats on their heads. Is wild. So, Kid, we saw dump a Sycamore after his Mewtwo took a little more poke damage. I didn't see everything in the Sycamore. I saw at least one puzzle.
Yep.
There couldn't have been 2, otherwise he would have found some value for them, I'm sure.
I'm hoping there's an energy there, but one thing I want to note here is that Evil Soda. I mentioned this last game before, but I just got to keep bringing it up. It is so powerful when you stage 1 decks.
So good. Yes.
And and I think it was a deck previous to us that had played Timer Ball as another way to find evolution, which I thought was really unique as well. So everyone's kind of finding their niche to get their Pokemon out.
Exactly. They just want more search cards. They want more balls. They want more things to put down. And I think that like what we're looking at right here is really it's the cool thing about the Zoroark Garbodor deck. This is a Zoroark Garbodor deck. There are no Zoruas in play. There are 2 Mewtwo's, Lele, and Trubbish Garbodor. Like, it really can just function without the
This
Zoroark.
is very interesting too. He's not playing any Acerola, which is usually a unique trait of Zoroark because you're doing a 2-shot war. If you're not getting 1 shot, you just keep repeating the process through Acerola. And in this one, he's just consistency through his draw power.
Yep. So we saw Kid retreat the Mewtwo with 100 damage back to the bench with the Floatstone. So when he did that, we saw him kind of hesitate for a second because he's like, wait a second, I can get knocked out on the bench from a Buzzwole. It's probably fine because I'm making him put an EX in the active. Jimmy, seems to be okay with that. Ooh,
wow!
He's taking the Trubbish. This has got to be what Kid was afraid of. Is something like this,
Yeah, something. Oh, it's a double knock. Oh, because of Diancie.
Yep, because of Diancie. You can hit 70 out so much easier now.
Oh
it's
my goodness! That is just so insane. That and it goes to why a lot of people, for example, the Rockruff bench, 70 HP. Yep. You're gonna have to make your opponent work for it to get the donks now. But double knockout turn right there. I didn't see it come. I totally forgot about that. 70 HP power.
I'm sure Kid may have seen it coming, but he doesn't appreciate it either way.
When it happens, you just gotta grind your teeth and hopefully get to the next turn.
Yep. You're just like, all right. Yep. Of course. Yep. Sure. So we see him drop another in.
There's no Octillery on Jimmy's side, so he's still gonna get 5 cards with the card he draws for turn, but we need a big turn here from Kid.
Oh yeah,
choice band.
He definitely wants a choice band.
So maybe definitely get the Garb down. Because one thing that's common with the Buzzwole decks now is they're not playing Field Blower.
Yep. I think that Kid got the choice band and the Floatstone. I definitely saw the choice band. I think I saw a Floatstone.
Is there a unit energy in his hand? Like, are you saying he should favor going after attack with Garb?
No. I'm saying that he can float the Garb
float the Garb,
do the damage with the Mewtwo.
Okay.
But I think I might be wrong on the Floatstone and just saw a different card. But maybe that's what he's thinking about. He's like, choice band on the Garb? No, I got to do this damage. But what if he gets Octillery?
So, question here. So he has a Zora in hand. Do you bench it to bait him the Guzma up to knock out?
I think that it's fine to do that here, especially because Garbodor's not online yet. So if he needs to draw cards, he can just do it.
I would almost bench just for that reason. I mean, the only thing that's scary with it is that it puts him at the 4 bench count, where Bloodthirsty Eyes, Dangerous Rogue could really do some damage on Lele.
So the Rockruff already has a choice band.
Yeah.
And Diancie's in play, so it's currently doing 200. Actually.
So it's already doing enough as it is.
It.
So it doesn't do insult to injury there.
So that's the thing with playing around that Dangerous Rogue is like it's so good, and these fighting decks have so many ways to add damage that
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
There are only certain things you can do to play around Dangerous Rogue, but
Oh. No way.
Wow,
Oh,
this Buzzwell's
man.
going in. Jimmy's like, yeah, it's going to get
He's
knocked
hitting
out. But
everything.
it's going to get knocked out, but it's taking something with it.
He's setting up. He's in a golden spot.
He's taking that out. He's going to put 30 on the bench. That baby Buzzwell's got a fighting. The other one's hanging out. He's like, I know you're going to go to 4. I know you're going to knock this out.
This is a prime position. Like, he's like, I dare you knock this out because I will take off with these beast rings.
Yep. Knock it out or not, I don't care. I'm fine either way. He's hanging. Boom.
Way too many combinations for this deck. It's just so insane what it can do.
It really is.
Exact 100 on the Garbodor.
It just, wow, man. We're just seeing this Buzzwell deck do so much, and just it feels like Kid has just been.
It's like Kid finds he's walking through the house, finds a new way to go through route, and there's a door gets slammed right in his face.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, maybe this, and just nope,
no,
get out of here. Look at him thinking. He's like, man, this is
like, what are the options left here? I mean, yes, I could take the knockout of Mewtwo, but it's Beast Ring City after that.
I think
everyone gets some bling.
I mean, I don't know how many items are in the discard, but some Beast Rings are gonna get played.
Yep.
Maybe just going with the Mewtwo, right? Like the trash. If there are like 3 items already.
Well, I think the thought here is that he plays the Beast Ring, right? And he gets the 3 energy, which, going back to our point, Mewtwo will be able to knock out then.
True.
So maybe that's why he's kind of on the flip side.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like both of our points are valid for the same reason. Like, you're like, oh, he should attack with Trash Lands because he's going to attach a bunch of energy with Beast Ring, so Mewtwo can kill him. But I'm like, oh, maybe he should attack with Mewtwo because then he plays items and Trash. It's the same reason.
It's just, which route is
exactly. It depends on what his hand is. Maybe if he has the unit, then that kind of like forces that there.
I think he's trying to eye Lele here for potential knockout because if those Buzzwells do get lit up with energies, Lele can actually do some damage there.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that makes sense, and it's going to be a little harder for him to for Jimmy to knock out.
Mm-hmm.
The Buzzwell's doing 120. It's doing 140. Okay, I guess it's not that hard to knock out. It's doing 140 with Diancie in play.
I wonder, he does the special energy to discard off Cortana's ability, but I'm curious because is this plan to knock out this, or is he going to take something off the bench?
Maybe.
I think he's eyeing the Buzzwell with the 1 energy for a Lele knockout.
To kind of go to odd, and now he's like, you can't kill my Lele.
Yes.
See, this is the big brain plays.
Yep.
And this is why he's 6-0.
This is the kind of stuff that well, I hate to say it, while we're in the booth and they're out there 6-0.
Right. He's not in a great spot.
Yep.
He's not in a good spot even.
He's making the best of the situation.
Making the best. He's pulling every chance he can. He's looking at all the stops, and that's what really makes these top tier players.
And the best thing about that is he is not in Beast Ring mode now.
Not in Beast Ring mode yet, yeah. So it kind of gives him that chance to, maybe Jimmy does something wily and knocks this out. But then he's at 1, and if he's doing
do a lot.
If he's doing something wily, and that Trash
double
Lane's just kind of
elixir,
party.
yeah, exactly. So I think he put a lot of time to that turn, and the Lele play was really solid.
I agree, because there's a decent chance the Lele just doesn't get knocked out, and now both of those Psychic non-EXs are just, they exist, and they're ready, and they're fine, they can hang, so I really enjoyed that line of play from Kid. It's good to see this kind of stuff.
So I think we actually do the numbers here. I mean, we got the damage Buzzwell, which is the easy target away. If he sets up the other one for a Mewtwo knockout, he's just a Blade GX away from winning the game with that 5 prizes.
You're right. So what is Jimmy? Obviously, he put the other energy in the Rockruff. He looks like he wanted to Lycanroc, but I don't think he hit it.
Is there an Ultra Ball or any kind of way to get to that?
I did not see it. We see the Lycanroc in the elixir there actually. So.
Because with the Dangerous Rogue, we're at 180, 200 right now, like you're saying before.
I guess that's the risk. Looking at their list here, good that Kid can't hear us, so maybe he would have played a little differently. But that's Jimmy's only Rockruff. He's got a Super Rod, but he's only playing
it's
a
1/1 line.
That's it.
Is that knowledge? I wonder if he knew that would have changed his whole gameplay or not.
It's a 1/1 Lycanroc and a 1/1 Octillery. It's 1/1 of both, man. He's just like, I got Brooklet Hill. I'll get him out. It's fine. It's fine. And boom, Baby Buzzwole going in with a solid 70. It's fine.
30, 60, 80?
80?
80.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's 80.
That's just insane, man. 1 energy, 90 attacker, 80 damage. 70, 80? 30,
If you had a strong,
60,
it'd
80.
be 100. Isn't that wild?
Oh my gosh. It's gross to think about.
It really is. That's so much damage from like a non-EX that's just like, and that's just, it's normal, you know? It's not even the 4 prize turn where it really goes in. Oh, this is cool. So we see another end from Kid. Seems, you know, a lot of these guard border decks, you know, they always play 4 in. It's like part of their game. It's in, Toxin, good luck.
So I'm curious what the play is here at this point. Do you hard retreat, go Trash and Lands? Are you still holding back on Trash and Lands? Like, what's the best means to victory right now for Kid?
I mean, let's see. If he goes in with Trash Lanch, he'll knock out the Baby Buzzwole. Jimmy's response to that is, what, Dangerous Roguing the Trash Lanch?
And that's, well, he could pull the Lily back up, but that's still kind of...
Oh, or I guess he could just attack it with Lycanroc with Claw Slash with a 3rd energy.
That's true.
That also assumes he gets the Lycanroc.
Yeah.
You know, he missed the last turn. There's only 1 in there, so...
Maybe it's prized.
Maybe, you know... No, we saw it was on the last Elixir.
Oh, okay, that's right, yeah.
I remember
okay.
I saw it on the Elixir because I was like, there it is. You barely missed it. But...
He wants to verify some stuff here. You got with these types of matches, man. You got to know every
really
piece. You got to know the discard. You got to know how many energies to discard. Everything along those lines, to make sure that your move this turn is the right one.
And Kid is really missing that Toxin Garbodor now too. So we're about to see that the Octillery is going to go a long way to pulling Jimmy out of this end here, and we actually see him with an Ultra Ball, so we know that he can do the Lycanroc play if he wants, which is dangerous.
So, I love it. I'm sorry. I love the little sneak in there.
Like that, I was low key about it. I was like, it's dangerous, man. Like, you gotta watch it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. See, it's almost like, when do you want to time that Ninja Rope? Because you only get to do it 1 time.
Yep.
So do you want to save it for just to take out the Lele or Kartana?
I mean, I think it's just because
Lele already has damage.
Yeah, he can knock them both out. So why not just do this one?
Oh man.
Oh,
there
so
it is.
He's gonna knock this out and just kind of say, "What you got?"
Wow. Yeah. This is in the same board state. Oh man, he still has access to Dangerous Rogue. All he's gonna do is Knuckle Impact here on this Kartana.
Wild.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Let's try to think of how Kid could maybe still win this. I've got a line of play in mind. It all revolves on Jimmy having a bad hand.
Yep.
But if we assume Jimmy has a bad hand,
are you like?
Oh no, that seals it, because I was thinking he Guzma's up the the Buzzwole and kills it with Mewtwo and just hopes Jimmy can't do the strong, but Jimmy's got the strong.
But I was thinking in this instance he was going to Knuckle Impact, right, this attack, and then hard retreat and just hit with Dangerous Rogue on anything next turn.
I was thinking that he was going to go the other way around. With the Lycanroc.
Okay.
Because if he attacks with the Buzzwole, then the one of the 2 non-EXs can just come up and knock him out, and Kid can play the end. But if he comes up with the Lycanroc, that thing's not going to die.
Okay, I like that. Makes sense.
Because, there is a world where these 4 cards are perfect for Kid, and with the Buzzwole in the active, Kid goes, puzzle back my Kartana, remove the energy.
140, 160, 180. He does not even have the Dangerous Rogue. He could just Claw Slash.
Yep. Oh, you're right.
Oh man, he's just like, I have everything in my arsenal. There's nothing you can do, Kid.
Yeah. Because if he attacks with the Buzzwole, Kid could have gotten Kartana back, removed the energy, Toxin, Floatstone, and knock out. If he whiffs, Kid wins the next turn. You know, it's suddenly that big of a tempo swing. So, but with this way, there's nothing.
He's foolproof.
Yeah.
You need a lot to go in your favor right now. I mean, and I don't even know.
He sees it too. You can kind of see that this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
My next best guess is similar to what I said before, but you have to go for Acid Spray and hit heads and knock off that strong.
Yeah.
I
wonder if he's thinking about that.
That's it. That's the only thing he can do. He has to do Acid Spray, flip heads with the Toxin and the end. Jimmy has to miss. Guzma up the Buzzwole, knock it out. Lycanroc has a 2 retreat, so that's not even possible. Never mind. Oh, maybe if he goes Kartana, Acid Spray heads.
Yeah.
He'll stick it. All right. That's his out. Kartana, Acid Spray heads. I think you leave the choice band on the the
Lycanroc because
so
you can't float stone.
So you can't float stone, and if you do get that nuts combo off somehow.
Oh man, and it sucks right now. He has to choose between drawing more cards or ending his opponent to 1, which you gotta end to 1.
Yep. You have to end him to 1, but that's only giving you 4, and you need some very specific cards to have the shot. And there it is. He's just hoping. He's kind of just saying,
So I mean, those pieces there, but I mean, let's just say he knocks off the energy and he still has a Lycanroc 2 energy. He still has Dangerous Rogue though on anything.
You're right. Oh yeah, because he claw slaps.
He claw slaps. He has Dangerous Rogue to any attack. So regardless, he has a knockout with any attack.
He did not get the Kartana back, so he's up the creek.
Without a paddle.
He really is, man. This is a wild game. I mean, so what stepping back a little bit, more macro, how do you think the matchup went? Like, do you think that Kid, ignoring Zoroark completely and trying to focus entirely on Psychic and Garbodor, do you think that was the correct line of play?
I think so still, but at the same time, I think it was just Jimmy hit everything.
Yeah.
Like every answer everything that Kid threw out there, Jimmy had an immediate answer and an immediate counter to everything. So it's crazy. Like that deck was so powerful.
It really is. Kid goes for the knockout on the Baby Buzzwole. He's like, I'll put you at 5. So then I go 3 next turn. He's like, well, I'll just attack another Baby Buzzwole. Now I have to deal with that.
Just to mitigate the time there. It's just
so many of them. Yeah. So that matchup was wild, but Kid still 6-1. He's still sitting pretty all right for
still
day
1
2.
win away. He has 2 more chances to get that 7th win. I love the deck. I still think it's in a great spot.
Oh, yeah,
and I think he played that well. I think it's just a couple things just went insanely in Jimmy's favor.
Oh yeah.
And not so much in Kid's.
He just it's an unfavorable with Zoroark. It's unfavorable, and Jimmy didn't miss a beat. So that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. You just pop, and that's the kind of pressure Zoroark doesn't like to see.
And I think Kid's actually in these spots. If I'm not mistaken, there's probably maybe 2, maybe 3 of those decks left and around the top table. So if he can just dodge that one more time,
interesting.
I think he can have a solid chance. But then we're gonna have an interview with our winner Jimmy, and we'll come back to you guys here shortly.
Cool, good stuff. All right, guys, we're here with Jimmy Pendarvis, who just came off of his 7th win at the Madison Regional Championship. Jimmy, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Had some decent draws there, and 7-0.
Decent is an understatement.
Yeah.
7-0. Yeah, it was impressive, man. You were like, it seemed like anytime Kid did something, he's like, all right, maybe this will get me back in the game. You're just like, nope, nope. It seems like a matchup you knew how to navigate very well. Like all the Psychic Pokemon, you didn't even seem phased by them being on the board.
Yeah, with Baby Buzzwole, it's a lot easier to navigate, and I played a ton of the old Buzzwole deck and had to take on Gustavo quite a bit and some other Zoroark Garbodor players. So I was pretty prepared, but with draws like that, it's a lot easier to just take over.
It's good. So with the release of Forbidden Light, we've seen this the Buzzwole deck take a more interesting turn. Before the GX, you do a lot of damage with that, but kind of. Because Baby Buzzwole is so powerful, and as a response to all the Psychic Pokemon trying to outtrade you, is what made you read this card that has such an insane attack for 1 turn and go, I can play it every single turn of the game?
To be honest, I didn't have anything to do with building the deck.
Okay.
Chris Murray gave it to me on Friday. He played a couple games against me and beat me, and he's like, maybe we should take out Lycanroc, and I was like, nope, Lycanroc's good. We're playing that 60, or at least I am.
Yep.
And Baby Buzzwole is definitely way better than I thought it would be. When James Arnold played it in Roanoke and Expanded, I was like, his deck is so silly. How can he possibly keep taking prizes?
Yep.
But no, it pokes, it sets up knockouts. It's weird. It's obviously very good when they have 4 prizes, but it's a decent attacker all around.
I'm going to slide in here too real quick. So looking at the list also, you have a very thin line of Lycanroc, which is not from the traditional list of a 2-2 line.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind that? It's the same with Octillery also, just 1-1.
You just need cards, other cards in the deck, so it's hard to fit everything. And you don't really need it as much as you used to, because B-String lets you keep attacking. Lycanroc was kind of just a cheap attacker that could take a hit and still live, and then potentially take another knockout. But now that you've got B-String and all the new cards, you don't really need Lycanroc as much.
Oh, makes sense. But it's still good. You've got it around to threaten.
I don't think I've prized a single piece of Lycanroc or Octillery the entire tournament. So.
Yeah, all right. Keep it up, man. That's
keep
awesome.
that,
We
keep
like
that
it.
hot
Going
fire
through-
going on the 2 more rounds.
Going through my search or going through my deck for the first search, I always look for that stuff, and they're always all there. And I'm like, okay, we're good to go.
All right, good. Yeah, that's all we needed. And the deck takes prizes so fast anyway that if you have the basic, you bench it and you maybe rip it, and threatening it at the same
Yeah,
time.
for sure. Sometimes they'll try to kill it too, like Rock Ruff and Octillery or Remoraid. They're important.
And so even if it's not in the deck, you can kind of pull it out, and they're like, "Ooh, I gotta get that."
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only one.
Especially
too.
with Rock Ruff too.
Yep.
They're like, okay, that can cause problems, especially against a deck like Kids. They don't really have a good response to it.
Yep.
Because even with all the Psychic guys liking Rocks, still
Not
great.
Psychic. Yeah, it's so good.
So 7-0, Madison Regionals. You've already had a very successful season. You're added on to it today with another day 2 finish. How are you feeling these last 2 rounds? You gonna take it out? You gonna keep going for that 9-0, or are you gonna go take a nap? How do you feel?
I think I'm gonna try to go 9-0 again. Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah. It was like Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne with Eventhal
last year, right? Yep.
Yeah, that deck was also beyond broken.
Good stuff. I mean, it looks like you've really got a knack for taking really broken decks and showing people how broken they are.
There we go.
You've got the best one here.
Sometimes it's what it takes.
And that's if it's good, it's good, and you know how to play it. You do what you got to do to get the wins, man. So, congratulations. It was great watching you. 7-0, 2 more rounds. I hope you're able to keep killing it the rest of the day, man.
Trying to get a camera now.
All right.
Good job casting.
You got any shout-outs? Thanks, man. Anything you want to say to the crowd before you get on out of here?
Yeah, shout out to Carta Magica, my team. Shout out to Six Prizes, and thanks again for Chris for giving me the deck.
Awesome. Congratulations again, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Good luck. A few words from our sponsors, and we'll see y'all back here in a little bit. Thank you.